and whatnot. Um, we're going to record the meeting because we like to share these with the public, just in case they hear questions that they similar to theirs. They might get their question answered by just listening and watching the recording. So
This is correct.
no doubt. But good to see you. Yes, ma'am.
Good to see you too. I'll be right
Yes,
back.
ma'am. Okay, take your time. There is Jennifer Myatt. Hi, Jennifer. Let you get acclimated in there. Hello. Are you in mom mode?
I'm always a little bit in mom mode. I know I fed Brendan. He's old enough to fend for himself.
Yeah, man, you done came to that stage, huh?
It's
You just,
so nice. Like
it is.
when they're old enough to stay home by themselves,
Yeah.
the best.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got grown kids over here practically.
I know your oldest or your youngest will he be a junior?
Oh yeah, he's a junior. Yeah, he's
He's a
yeah,
junior.
6'2".
Oh my gosh.
He's a big
That's
boy. He's bigger than me.
crazy.
Yeah, he's bigger than me. Which is great. But yeah, we'll start out about 6:02, just in case anybody was planning to come and they're having trouble, just to give people a few extra minutes a couple extra minutes to log on, if you all don't mind. But thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it as usual. Everybody here is a veteran per se of these grants. So far, we won't have to bore you with all the details of the program because you all know about it. Now, unless we get some newcomers, y'all might have to listen to a quick spiel. But typically these grants, people reach out to consultants. So, that would be in their best interest to involve some professionals to kind of capture and help them along the application process. So Class A neighborhood, we typically get a lot of newcomers because they're just trying to learn about grants, period. So we always got to break it down to more layman's terms to get them through the process. But here we have experts. Be right back. 2 minutes. Ready? Minutes.
We can give people a few more minutes. Usually we give them till about 5 after.
Okay, yeah. 2 after, 3 after, yeah. Whatever, whenever you're ready to go, you're gonna start us off. So whenever you feel like you're ready to take off, we're ready.
We can go ahead and get started. We might end up with a few other people. I
Okay.
think I talked to one of the contractors a couple weeks ago, and he said they might pop on. Um,
Okay.
but I don't know if he was going to do this one or the one on Wednesday. So
Right.
we'll
Right.
see. But I will start us off. I am Jennifer Myatt, and I'm in environmental quality and public works, but not water quality. And I help with public outreach and communications. So, I guess, Frank, do you want to introduce yourself as the other
Yeah.
person who will talk?
Yeah, we'll circle back around. Everybody do a little quick introduction. Of course, this audience pretty much knows me, Frank Mapson. I am the grant administrator for the Stormwater Quality Projects Incentive Grants Program, and I'm here to attempt to answer as many questions as possible. And thank you for joining us.
All right.
Let Denise
Basically,
and Chase.
oh,
Well,
Denise and Chase, do you want to introduce
Go.
yourselves?
Hello.
since,
Yeah. So, yeah, Chase Jones. I'm in Division of Water Quality. I work under Frank and alongside with Denise as well. I help out with the grant scoring, kind of the stormwater incentive grant process, and also kind of the inspections once they are completed and in our inventory.
yep,
And I'm Denise. I help Frank administer the grant program and make it run as smooth as possible.
there it is. All right. And last but not least, you're muted.
My mouse travels around too fast, and
Sorry.
I've got 3 screens. I can't
Oh,
get to them quick. Yeah. Denise Elmore, I'm with Earth Cycle Design, and we've had several stormwater grant projects over the years.
right. Thank you. Okay, Jennifer.
All right. I feel well, we were going to start out with Frank and talk a little bit about like eligibility questions or if you had anything like kind of frequently asked questions, but you've done this before and you're our audience right now. So, I think we can skip over to the online application for now, just to see if you have any questions about it.
Yeah.
Unless Frank has anything to add before that.
Well, let me just make a couple of bullet points right quick. Just regarding just like anything that's changes, nothing's different this year other than the fact that if the company that is applying has not received an incentive grant in the past, they will receive preferential treatment on the scoring. So we give an additional 5 points, I believe it is, for that if they had never received an incentive grant before. Also, another thing I wanted to point out that I also wanted to just point out the funding, which will be for this year. I wanted to just kind of call out our allocation, which is 10% of the revenue collected for the water quality management fee. For this year, our portion for the Class B infrastructure, the allocation amount will be $1,292,179.38. Of course, we divvied it up between the feasibility only grants. We've budgeted for $55,000 worth of feasibility only projects. We also have infrastructure projects 75,000 or less. There's $193,826.91 allocated for that, and then the remaining dollars will be awarded to regular design and construction projects to the tune of $1,043,342.47. So I just wanted to make that announcement in terms of the funding, and also just something to keep in mind with these organizations. If you can please remind them that they must be in compliance with all LFUCG codes of ordinances and things of that nature, so that way we don't have any issues there. So it's one thing, it's not the firm's responsibility to be in compliance, but it's the grantee's responsibility to be in compliance with all of our ordinances. So I just want to make sure we point that out to any of our interested or potential clients. So thank you.
Got a quick question.
Oh.
Is that allocation
Mhm.
division of the funds, is that any different than like last year or the year before?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we get a pot of money and we set targeted amounts for certain targets, like the feasibility only 75,000, a project $75,000 or less, and then the remaining projects. That's just how we allocate it. But yeah, that's all the same language.
Okay.
Yep. And then Jennifer, you were going to talk about the actual online application. Oh, you're muted.
Just kidding. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Let's see. Where are you? Can I share the web page? Okay, you should see the web page. Do you see the web page?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. If you just type in lexingtonky.gov infrastructure grant, that will take you directly to the page. You can also just go to the city website and search for infrastructure grant, or if you can spell infrastructure, which I can't apparently, infrastructure grant. So you can see Class B stormwater quality projects incentive grants. So the search bar will take you there too. So there's a number of ways to get there from the city webpage. And if I can get the search to stop popping up. And then if you just scroll down, here is the online application. And before we click on that, I wanted to scroll down a little bit further and show you that we have office hours. So this is new this year. And we've always been available for assistance, obviously. Like, we've always been really open. Like, if you need help with something, or you want to meet with us beforehand, let us know. But this is just to kind of formalize it. So you can click here and it's just a sign up genius. And basically we have dates already set. So most of them, I think the default is like a virtual meeting, but if you want to come to the office, that's fine. So you would just sign up for, we have dates next week and the week after in the afternoon. You would just sign up, and then we get an email, and then we'll email you back and just say, all right, you're signed up for July 8th at 2:30. And how are we going to meet? Are you going to call us on the phone? You just get an email from Frank, basically. So that's real simple and easy. And of course, if these dates and times don't work for you, like, just send us an email and we will work something out. I'm going to go backwards. Well, no, it opened in a new window. I'm not going to go backwards. Okay. So if you're on the website, you just click on, we do have everything still where you can download it so that you can see all of the agreements, you can see the application packet and everything, but the applications are all online now. So you upload all of your stuff online. You don't have to worry about printing it or anything. So that's really helpful. It's pretty simple. This is our first time. Well, we had the Class B education and the neighborhood grants have already done this because those were due in May, but this is the first year that we're doing it. So if you notice anything strange with the application or something doesn't work right, or you feel like you need more characters available for a question or something is confusing, please get in touch with Frank. There's his email. And just let us know your thoughts after you fill it out. If there are things that you liked or things that you thought would be easier done a different way, like, we're definitely working on improving this. So it's really the same questions we asked on the paper application. And there's spots where you can upload your supporting documentation, letters, that kind of thing. So we just ask you all the questions that we asked you last time. And then if you go to the very bottom, so here's where you can add files and the supporting documentation. But make sure when you hit this save and resume later button, it gives you a link, and you need to make sure that you save that link. I would copy that link and paste it in my email and send it to myself. And also you can email yourself the link. So that if you send it by email, it will send you a link to your application. It only saves for 30 days. So don't fill out the application. Don't start filling it out until you're ready to turn it in. So don't start filling it out, months before. I mean, right now we're not months before when the applications are due, but, like, don't start filling it out so early that you're not going to get finished in a month. Because it will only be good for 30 days. So that's how this works. And that's pretty much it as far as the online application. It's not very complicated. You can do the online signatures, even like it's the e-sign. You describe what your project is. Basically, it's all the same information. We have the scoring sheet available, and we have everything. If you like to have something printed out to look at, I find that really helpful. So you can still print everything out from the website if you want to. You just fill it all out online. And yeah, I think that's pretty much self-explanatory, unless you have any questions about the online application.
Denise, you have any questions about the online application?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is this the first time that you're using the online application, like,
Yes.
in total? Okay.
Yes, this is our
So
first year.
It's a
I
first
think,
year, so
yeah, I think my only questions would be if I run into a problem or something doesn't work right, then what do I do about that? But I'll figure that out as I go. It seems pretty straightforward. I mean, it's got all the same things that I've been filling out in the past. So, um, I don't think I'm going to run into anything that I don't really understand. It's just the mechanics of it, just to make sure that that works.
Right. And I
and
guess I'll
we
ask,
Oh, I was just gonna say the Class B education grant applicants and the neighborhood applicants all said they were like, it was pretty easy. Like, it was definitely easier than printing 9 copies of stuff and taking it somewhere. So
Absolutely.
we had some like if we are very open to like critiques of it because it is a lot different for you. Like us building it is a lot different than you all filling it out. So if you notice things that you feel like would be better in a different order or something is confusing, like jot notes down and let us know at the end because we're using all that to improve it for next year.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to say real quick that like if it's a situation where it's a tenant as the grantee, then you will have to be prepared to have the tenant sign the application, save it, and then have the property owner still sign on, and give his signature as part of the process too.
Well, that's a good point. I mean, to do that, you would have to have the client sign on and add their signature. Is
Well,
that
for you all, if you're filling it out for them, yeah, I guess it would be that is a good question. If you're filling it out for them, yeah, I guess they will have to have access to sign on and actually sign because you're representing them, but you're
right?
not signing on to be
But we're not
responsible.
signing for them. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
what we normally would do, would be to take that document to them, or they come to
right.
our office or whatever, and they'd review it, do the signature, and then we would take it from there. So
So yeah.
how difficult would it be for them to access this? Really not at all, really.
It shouldn't be difficult because it's not like it requires credentials or anything, but you
Mhm.
might have to send them that link, that we talked about emailing to you for them to
Correct.
jump in there. But for future reference for Jennifer Myatt and the rest, the crew, then we might want to think about an apparatus for a consultant to be able to forward a form to the grantee, to the owner, grantee and owner, to the appropriate parties for
Yeah,
signature if they are filling it out on their behalf. That's something to think about. We should have a mechanism that says, okay, well, you can just forward it to them and then they could open it up and then sign it. And I
right,
suppose from there they could submit it or whatever the case is. They can communicate with the consultant and say, well, that's all that's needed. Everything else looks, reconciled in the application, and they would be in a position to just hit the submit button.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what you could do this time. Like once it's finished, like once you filled everything out, send them the link to the application and say, if you're fine with this, go ahead and sign the bottom and hit the submit button and let me know when you did it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no requirement for any hard copies throughout the process, right? Yeah.
That's what makes it beautiful. We're actually becoming more green since we are part of environment,
Correct.
the government, environmental works and what have you. So
Uh-huh.
public works, I mean. But yeah, so we're actually practicing what we preach in terms of
Yeah.
paper, trying to save
Well,
our
I'm all
trees.
for it.
So yeah, you fill out this online application, everything's the same. We then get a digital copy of that and we're able to share it amongst ourselves for the scores, and then we'll evaluate all the information. Jennifer Maya, is there a character limit of anything, or are we cool in that area? Because that's a question that I'm putting out there just for Denise O'Mara to be able to hear, just whether or not there's a character limit of
There were a couple of questions where the last group requested a higher character limit, and I
Mhm.
think that we made it higher. It looks like the character limit is like 5,000 characters for
Okay.
those questions.
Yeah.
They should You should pretty much be fine for the character limit. You can always, like, if you have something that's really long, you can um
Attach it.
you feel like needs to be separate, you can attach it at the bottom because there is that space to attach documents at the bottom.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Yep.
But
So
for
we
the most
still,
part, like it's got a lot of space for writing the answers or for typing the answers. So
yeah.
you should be fine with that amount of space.
Yeah, the only difference is we're just, instead of you, giving us the paper copy, when you go to attach all those documents, you're still attaching a copy of your schedule, you're still
Mhm.
attaching a copy of your budgets, the map, and the
Yeah.
so those exhibits are still the same. So if you want to incorporate additional wording, as a part of that, that's fine. If you don't have enough space in those fields.
Descriptions. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll try to keep those short, maybe shorter than we have in the past, but
Oh, we've seen some long ones. You'd be surprised.
yep.
Maybe
Novels.
you wouldn't be surprised.
No, maybe I wouldn't be.
So, but
Okay,
yeah.
well,
Okay.
that's good. It seems like there is just an opportunity to add whatever we feel that we need to that.
Mm-hmm.
And we will keep brevity in mind as we're doing these things. I think we've been trying to do that, as the years have progressed, to just kind of
Yeah.
refine that process and make it easier to read.
Yep.
So,
But Scott loves details, so yeah.
yes, well, I was going to say, if one of them is going to be longer, it would depend on whether I do it or he does it, and guess which. So,
Oh, trust me, I know.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
no, he does a
So
good job.
yes, he does. Both
Um,
of you do.
thank you.
Oh,
What was
let me say one more thing that maybe I wouldn't say wasn't included last year, but if the project is in, I'm glad Jennifer has that screen there, is in the Royal Springs recharge area, then you
Mhm.
might want to tell your client to reach out to the organization to get a statement or get their position on, they don't have authority, but we'd like to make them aware of what's going on, or what's, being proposed or potentially could be proposed and awarded, just to allow them to sort of weigh in and what have you. So, since anything in their area may impact the drinking water source, so just keep that in
Mhm.
mind.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah, usually if there's something that comes up like that, where there's an impact, directly for some, like a watershed or
right,
whatever, that has a functioning body that goes with it, we want to
right.
let them know what's going on too.
Yes,
So, and
please,
if we can get a
yes.
recommendation from them, that's always good too.
It is. A letter of support is wonderful. Yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
know they have, they take issue with a lot of permeable pavers and things of that nature, but, they realize that, we have a mission, they have a mission, but we do want to be concerned about, and show them some concern and consideration about at least discussing, what we're talking about in terms of pollutants and where the area is, because it depends on the
Right.
site. If it's
Yeah.
a heavy
And
metal
that's our
site,
responsibility to do that with the client too, because they'll have an issue that they want to deal with, and it may or may not be totally directly water quality. Sometimes
uh,
it's flooding, sometimes
yeah,
it's, well, it's usually flooding.
yeah.
And we will try to educate them about what the best management practices are for and what they can do for them,
Right.
and still have, an effect on the impact that their water flow is having,
Right.
in locally.
Yeah, because if a site had formerly been like some radioactive material or so or sorts, then they may, request, or we may stipulate that, there's some kind of soil amendment to some degree to try to, you know,
Right.
counter their concerns with, with some kind of
Yeah. And we're doing,
extra action.
infill stuff, and you know what that soil tends to be like. So
Yeah, yeah.
those are issues
For
that
example,
come up.
Thousand Delaware.
Yep.
So, but
We
yeah,
were just
so
out there
Yeah.
videoing. It was
Not
good.
so
It's
much, but I
cool.
haven't been out there in a little while.
I
yeah,
was
it's
out
looking
there
good.
a couple weeks ago. We have a videographer who went out there. So I was just out there for a little bit because it was
Coming
hot and
along.
I was wearing bad shoes. So I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
you can go do the videography stuff in the active construction site without me today. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's cool. It'll be really cool. He has our videographer that we're contracting with has a drone. So he's going to get some footage of the site as it's built. So that'll be really kind of cool to kind of show people what it looks like from the beginning up to the end.
Yeah.
So fun.
Well, it's been wonderful. It's been so popular, and
Yeah.
it's just the community is very much aware of what's going on over
Yeah.
there, and hopefully that will continue to happen. And that I think it's going to be a very successful project, and that will carry over to other properties. in that area and in other areas that have a similar kind of neighborhood situation, let's say.
It would be really nice to live that close to the pasta garage.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I don't know if they put that in the marketing or not.
they should. Walkable to the pasta garage. I'm on the opposite side of town, and I'm like, man, we hardly ever get over there because it's
Yeah.
just a long drive. It's kind of a
Is it-
long haul to get over there.
Is it good?
Oh yeah,
Pasta
it's
garage? Oh, my
really good.
goodness,
They like
yes.
make all their own pasta.
Oh, okay.
So good.
You can
It's really
take
good.
classes too. They do you can like make like do a little class with the chef, do your
Yeah.
own pasta and everything. Yeah, have a little dinner afterwards.
I'm gonna
It's
go
Yeah.
give me a pasta class.
they do like a pasta CSA for a couple of months. I don't know when it is, but you like basically pick up a different pasta every week
Wow.
for
I
2
didn't
or
know
3
they were
months.
doing that.
I don't know if they're still doing it. They
Uh-huh.
did a while ago have like a kind of a pasta CSA, so you could like
Yeah.
try the different pastas, but oh man, they have really good gnocchi. You got to check it out, Frank. It's
Gnocchi.
amazing.
Let me get my notes out. Gnocchi. Never heard of it before. I don't even
Y'all
know what
need to
that
take
is.
a field trip
Next
over
time
there.
you visit 1000 Delaware, you can just hop
I
on
will.
up the road to Pasta Garage and
Yep.
I
eat
will.
spaghetti or whatever.
You know, and I forgot. Yeah, that's y'all's project, Miss Denise O'Mara. Yeah, that's
Yes,
your
it is.
project. I
Yep.
forgot. Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
that's awesome. So you're very familiar with the area, but yeah. But related to the Q&A today, like I said, we're just here to answer. You know, we're available email anytime.
Mhm.
You know, of course, technical questions, you can reach out for those too. We wanted to
Yep.
cover, you know, if we had anybody knew we was going to go through, you know, the program's mission and that sort of thing, but
Mhm.
mostly we wanted to talk about the online application and then address any questions regarding that, and obviously any technical questions regarding drainage or you know any other type of areas about water quality improvement or you know quantity reduction if we could. So if there's any site questions or if there's any applicant eligibility questions, we're happy to answer those. So um,
Yeah.
before the grants are due, if you want to send us a saved draft of your application, you can do that too. I think you can save
That's
some
an
kind of
excellent
draft copy.
idea.
Yeah, just to kind of make sure your concerns are addressed before the actual deadline pass. So
Mhm.
so we can take a quick look at it. So feel free
Right.
to do that too. So we're happy. We're definitely employing people to ask as many questions as possible before the deadline. Obviously, we ask for clarification items after the deadline and what have you. But in terms of the items proposed, you're not allowed to adjust those once it's in the
Right.
proposal because we're gonna
Mhm.
base it on the merit of those BMPs that you've included in your proposal. And we can't
Right.
allow somebody to say, oh man, I don't think I'm gonna get enough points. Let me throw in some, you know, so we want to kind of, you know,
Yeah.
be upfront and personal about that. So yeah, just let us know if y'all have any questions, any more questions, either
And
now or later.
Class B is July 24th, right?
It is July 24th. You know, I realized that it's typically the last Friday, but I think we missed the last Friday. I think the last Friday is actually the 31st. So, but we accidentally made it the Friday before. So,
Uh-huh.
charged to our head, not our heart. But yeah, so it's the 24th. So, not to be
Yep.
confused, you know, I want to kind of stress that because a lot of people that have normally applied with us, they might say, well, it's normally the last Friday of
Last
July,
Friday.
just like
Yeah.
the first Friday of May for the A's and B education.
Mhm.
So it is the Friday, the Friday before the last Friday. So
Yeah. Could you go over the just the breakdown of the funds that are available? I got the
yeah,
first part of it and then I forgot
yeah,
it. I couldn't
yeah. Let me
listen
show you.
fast enough.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
if you don't, I'm gonna share my screen. If you, in fact, because I can pull up this. Hold on. Let me go here. Hopefully you can see. Let me see. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Let's see here. Share. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. It's still scrolling.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I just
so
want to get to the page, but here is the breakdown
feasibility.
of yeah. So you can read that.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Infrastructure
Yep. And
is
of course, there's the
193.
innovation and experimentation. And oh, you know what? I misquoted earlier. We did have a slight change to our innovation and experimentation pool, which are additional funds outside of the amounts you're reading there. We have an
Uh-huh.
additional funds set aside for innovation, experimentation, and we've added a research component, as you can see there on that screen right below. I'm scrolling up a little bit. We've added a research component. So if your grant is proposing to incorporate some research information related to water quality or quantity reduction, then we employ you to do so. There's $156,800 in addition to that amount that you've seen above there, available for that. So I do want to point that out. It's fair.
Okay, and the separate educational component was how much?
What do you mean when you say, the experimentation? What do you mean?
Yeah,
This is,
yes, the
yeah.
experimentation.
So this pool of money is set aside for projects that are innovative, experimental, or incorporate research monitoring component.
Okay, so
This
that's
is
both of those things. Okay.
yeah, yeah. This is typically for when you talk about tangible items. These are for items that you might propose that are not in our stormwater manual. So in terms of how to
Mhm.
define that, if you have something that you don't find in our stormwater manual, in terms of a BMP, then you might consider these funds if you don't. If you're not awarded for the regular
Yeah.
pool of funds that you see up here. So it's just
Okay.
to let you know that maybe not all hope is not lost if you don't get selected, and you might consider if you fall under this category of innovation, experimentation, and research
Yeah.
slash monitoring. So, yep.
Okay, I got one more question for you.
Okay.
We've done a lot of HOAs and things like that, and they tend to be sort of on the confused side of clientele.
Hmm.
And I would like to see, this is just a personal thing because I spent years doing schools, but I would like to see Fayette County doing more, BMPs and outdoor classroom type things on school grounds. So have you had many of those?
Man, I'll be honest with you. We've had one like early on in the program. We were doing one every year for a different school. I
Yeah.
think we're in a challenging time, needless to say, about the budget. So, you
Well,
know,
yeah, yeah,
so I think once we get past this difficult moment with regard to Fayette County Public Schools budget,
yeah.
we may reintroduce the notion of a marketing campaign toward them. I
Mhm.
just feel like our efforts would be wasted currently. People are getting fired and things, so I don't think they'll
Right.
be
Yeah.
inclined. And as a matter of fact, I hear that they've lost quite a few employees from that sustainability office, from the office that would consider these or would head these types of
Yeah.
projects. That's where some of the layoffs came from. So,
Mhm.
I think that's a great comment, and I think that's a good idea in terms of, but I think the timing may not be favorable for that at the moment.
Yeah, there may be other educational,
Yeah,
not public schools, but other situations
yeah.
where
Like,
that
yeah,
may
like,
happen.
the bluegrass green sources and those folk that do it,
Hmm.
you might employ them to reach out to neighborhoods and partner with them about doing BMPs in
Yeah,
common spaces and things of that nature. Sort of like
yeah,
Scott, not Scott, but Ken Cook does. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And we've had some private schools in the past, like the Montessori schools done a
Mm-hmm.
grant.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
And,
was that y'all's project too?
That when I was at Ross Torrent, we were doing that. Now they
Oh,
switched
okay.
architects in
oh yeah,
midstream, so to speak, but we did all
Right.
of the BMP stuff there.
Got you.
That was a pretty
Got you.
cool project.
that was
Yeah,
a
we
cool project.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, but yeah, I think in that regard, I think for Fayette County, if we just give them a little time, and then yes, we can go forward with reaching out to private schools because they may be, yeah. What's that school out there? Is it the Lexington? Not the, I guess the Lexington school
The
or
Lexington School is out,
Like
Mason,
Beaumont-ish.
not Mason Healy,
Georgian Way.
Lane Allen, Lane Allen.
Lane
Yeah,
Allen.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Like
and
like real
LCA.
close to Beaumont Middle, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. It's
Yeah.
right,
It is.
it's opposite the little side road. Sorry, a fly was buzzing in front of me.
That's all right. I think
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
they're on
Yeah.
Georgian Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgian Way.
I
Is
think
that the name of the road?
I think that's the
Okay,
name of the
maybe it
street.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But we can reach out to those and then LCA and go back to Sayre and reach out. You know, they got all this impermeable, these parking lot areas. We can reach out to them about
Yes.
retrofits,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, we need to reach out to that mall, the Fed Mall. They got plenty of
I'll
pavement
say,
to,
because they need to do some major rehaul
yeah.
or overhaul of their
I think the
parking.
least they could do is give us some landscaped islands out there. You know what I mean?
I know, because
For
if you're
real.
out there in the middle of the summer and you're out there in the parking lot
Canopy.
someplace, you're lucky if you're gonna make it to the
I
mall
know.
itself
Heat
without like
stroke.
passing out.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that's a
They
good point to
certainly
be
could
made.
do a lot there. Yeah.
So thank you for giving us some inspiration with regard to marketing, because yeah, that's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to do that. So for sure. Yep. You got any more questions for us? Feel free.
I have none at this time. I'm sure I can come up with one or two doing the next round of applications, but right now I think I'm good.
Okay, remember we have a session on Wednesday from 1 to 2, I want to say.
1 to
Just in
2.
case you
So
so
send your
and
folks if
Yes.
you find anybody if you have any clients who are interested.
Mhm.
yeah,
1 to 2. It'll be Frank that time because I'm in another meeting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but if you have any clients that want to hear directly about, if they need some level of comfort about the process, and for us to sing your praises, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, we do have one relatively new client that we're going to do an application for.
Okay.
The other couple that we've got, Wesley United and United Landscape, they're still in the process
Right.
of doing their original ones.
Yeah.
So those
Okay.
I think will come up afterwards,
Okay.
and we'll see what we can do with those.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And I'll say thank you to the staff for listening in and for joining us. You all are wonderful, as usual. It's been a blast. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks,
thank
everybody.
you. Have a
You
good
too.
Yeah,
night.
thank you
You
all.
too.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
You
evening.
too.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.